Okay, in this video we're checking out this FPV monitor from LDARC. It's a 4.3-inch monitor, 16 by 9 aspect ratio, native aspect ratio. It does come with this sun shield, as you can see here. It collapses, so it does protect the screen if you're transporting it around. It does include this, basically it's like a cell phone holder with a little tripod mount on the bottom here. That's if you want to hook this up to something with a quarter 20 screw. I was planning on putting this on top of my transmitter and using it to fly at some point, but I'm still waiting for the little adapter for my transmitter. This little Fox here, Lollipop 2 stubby antenna is not included. What they do include is your standard rubber ducky antenna, just a dipole antenna, and they do include this sort of cheap little tripod that will go on to the tripod adapter if you want to use that. It's pretty very low cost, not a very good tripod. I wasn't actually going to be using it. And it also includes this case that the monitor and everything came in. If you want to use this, I'm probably going to use this to store some other things. I can just carry around the monitor like this in my backpack. It's totally fine. And you know, for most people that are wondering, well, what's so great about a monitor? It's mostly for like when you don't want to use your goggles. So I take this out to the field. I want to check something on there on my drone and just power it real quick, check some settings, and then turn everything off without having to put my goggles on. These are very handy. This one, one of the reasons I like this one is it comes with an internal battery, so it charges here via micro USB. Has a 2000 milliamp hour battery in here, so it lasts a really long time. I've been using this for about 2 weeks now, on and off here and there. Even took it to a whoop race recently. You know, but had this on for several hours. Not on for the whole time, but on and off, watching people race and stuff. You know, it's more convenient to use a monitor like this to watch other people race versus putting your goggles on. And the battery is still going, so actually I'm going to take this little sunshade off. I actually haven't charged this since I first charged it when I first got it. So just this slides off. It's very easy to remove this if you don't want to use it. So sometimes I don't want to use it. Just slide this off and I put this to the side. Just have access to the monitor itself. It does have a glossy screen, so if you don't like the glare, then that could be a downside for you. On top of the micro USB port here for charging, you have a little LED here that'll tell you when it's powered on, and when it's charging, if you have this plug in and charging, it's red, and when it's done charging, I think it turns green. And then this is your on-off switch here. I like that versus the button because then you know right away it'll turn on, and then you can see it's powering on. And yeah, obviously right now nothing is plugged in; it's static. Shows you your band channel and the frequency when you power on, and then after that it'll show you your battery level, and then the X there is your signal strength. So it's currently on 2, and there's 5 levels of battery, so when it's full it's at 5, and I've had this, like I said, about 2 weeks, and if it's gone from 5 to 2, it's still going. I haven't charged it yet, so pretty impressed with the battery life on this guy. Through some buttons here on top, so obviously channel button, frequency button, or band button. Then you have plus and minus. It does have, that's mainly for the audio, so if you have static or whatever, it's going to come out this little speaker here. So I actually don't use audio, so I turned it off. Let me turn up the volume here. You see, just static. If your drone has audio, then yeah, it'll come through if you want to use that. So for those of you that like audio, this is included. And then the M button here is to bring up the menu. There's brightness, contrast, color, and then there's mode. You can switch from 16:9 mode to 4:3 mode, which just puts bars on the side. Let's leave it on 16:9. And language, and then reset. I think that's all the settings there. So pretty simple, pretty basic. Change your channels here if you want to change the channel from 4 to 5, channel 5 here, and then just press the channel button again, channel 6, and then channel 7. So that's 5860. It's Fat Shark 7. I'm on the Fat Shark band currently, but now I can go to group A or the A band. If I press the frequency button, there's E. R is race, and then back to F. So there's actually only 4 bands on this. There's 32 channels. The one major band that's missing is the Bosscam B band. So if you haven't used that, I don't know a lot of people that use that band, but if you do, then yeah, this monitor won't work for you. And yeah, there's a I'll put a little chart up here of all the frequencies that are included. This is basically the A band, E band, F band, and R band. I think most people are probably going to use R band and F band, I think, for most situations. Okay, so I'm going to plug in something here, and we'll just show you what the image looks like. And this is one of my diatone. This is a GT, I forget which one this was, a M2. And this is my soldering irons. This is my workbench here. You get an idea what the screen looks like. It's pretty good colors, pretty good saturation. I think it's a little bit on the bright side for me. I just haven't bothered to reduce the brightness, but it's totally fine. You can see here. I can fly through this. I have flown through this. There's not a lot of latency. If you want to do that, you could do that. Although I think most people that are comfortable with goggles are probably going to stick with goggles. The resolution on the screen is 480 pixels by 272 pixels at 4.3 inches diagonally. So it's, you know, not super high resolution and not super low resolution. It's pretty, I think, middle of the road. I think it's going to be pretty good for something like this at this price point. And this is running about $40, I think, right now. Now, in terms of reception, there's only one receiver on board, as you can see here, with the one antenna. No dual diversity. That is kind of a downside if you want to be flying with this at a race or something like that. I know some people still fly through monitors, and could be an issue for long range. Yeah, some of the monitors with dual diversity antennas will have a little bit better reception because they can switch between the two. They'll have better signal. For my purposes, I think it was fine. I think that if you are limited to one antenna, you are just limited on range in terms of like penetration and going through walls, that kind of thing. Your reception is going to be pretty, well, not bad, but it's going to not be that great compared to something with a diversity receiver. Now I'm going to show you here some recording of the screen while I'm flying around. So the monitor is actually upstairs in my house. And so there's actually a whole floor separating where the drone is and where it's transmitting from and where this receiver is. So I'll give you an idea what the reception is like, at least in a small home. Pretty decent. Minimal breakups, considering you only have the one antenna. And yeah, I thought it was totally acceptable as long as you're within a reasonable close range. I think it's going to work for most people. The reception, I think, is, I would say, average to above average, given the fact that it is only a single antenna. Now, the one other downside, I think, is that it doesn't have a built-in DVR, but I think I would prefer the bigger battery versus the DVR. I think you could possibly add an external DVR to this. Now, this does have an AV in port here, which I didn't mention before, so it'll take an external receiver. You can pump in an external signal in here if you want to do that. Like if you want to use a diversity receiver and pump the signal in here, that should work for you. But yeah, there's no way to get the video out, unfortunately, on this one. So you would have to open this up and hack it up somehow to get the signal out to a DVR. But that's the only thing that would be the downside on this one for me, because I kind of wish this had a DVR. Then it would be perfect. Of course, also having a diversity antenna would be great too. But yeah, those are a couple of the downsides on this one. Other than that, it's a pretty good monitor for the price. Works pretty good for my situations, and using it as a passenger, FPV monitor, observing other people racing at races and events, that kind of thing is really good. And just works in general as something you want to just turn on real quick, check your feed, and turn it off. And as I said, the battery lasts a long time, so you just keep this in your bag and use it as a nice little handy, check your video feed when you don't want to use your FPV goggles. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.